Taiwan, I'm Philip Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The United States has sworn in its next commander-in-chief. Thousands of people showed up to support President Donald J. Trump on his first day in office. Leslie Liao reports from Washington, D.C.
That I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
A solemn oath as Donald J. Trump is sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, his second term as the American Commander-in-Chief. Overcoming multiple assassination attempts and a felony conviction, Trump has completed one of the greatest political comebacks, now promising swift action on key campaign issues like immigration.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Delivering on those words, the president went on to sign several executive orders at an inaugural rally where supporters turned up in droves. Tens of thousands of people have lined up on the streets of D.C., braving frigid temperatures to attend and witness Donald Trump's inauguration at the Capital One Arena over there. The line starts on this side of the street, goes down that way, and snakes all the way around. There's a sense of excitement here, and we spoke to a few people in line to get a sense of what they're thinking on Inauguration Day.
I'm most excited to just be there. I've got my little binoculars and to someday in the future be able to say I was there.
Donald Trump, he needs to get rid of the illegal immigrants.
I'm excited to make things great again. Trump the border, stability in our country, restoring values to our citizens of America, and to just pull us back together.
We're excited about where America is going, where we're all going to be united as one, and Donald J. Trump is going to take us there.
Lawmakers from Taiwan were also at the Capital One Arena, while the delegation's leader, Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu, and representative to the U.S., Alexander Yu, attended a separate watch party in the Capitol building, an area designated for ticketed guests after the ceremony was moved inside. Han expressed optimism about the future of U.S.-Taiwan ties under a second Trump presidency.
大家可以观察到，川普总统邀请的企业界基本上都是以高科技为主，而台湾高科技又是非常的强项的。我们也希望未来美台之间有更多合作的紧密的机会。
But on his first day in office, Trump is prioritizing domestic policies. Behind me is the White House, where Donald Trump is making good on campaign promises by continuing to sign executive orders on things like immigration, energy policy, and government operations on his first day in office, marking a historic transition in American politics. Leon Lien, Laurel Stewart, and Leslie Liao in Washington, D.C. for TaiwanPlus.
Trump wasted no time getting to work on his first day back in office as he signed in a raft of executive orders. John Van Trest breaks down what it says about the administration's priorities.
Day one of the second Trump administration, and the pace of change is already rapid. To the cheers of an arena filled with fans, the 47th President of the United States signed a slew of orders aimed at undoing the policies of his predecessor.
The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
And to great cheers, pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord.
We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
But Trump didn't stop there. Later at the Oval Office, the freshly inaugurated president took care of what he sees as unfinished business from his first term.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Trump has never acknowledged he lost the 2020 election, and he sees the rioters who tried to overturn the confirmation of Joe Biden as political prisoners. It may just be the opening hours, but already much of Joe Biden's legacy is undone. Government diversity initiatives are canceled, directives on climate change reversed, and sanctions on Israeli settlers in the West Bank who've been violent toward Palestinians axed. And there's more. Trump has withdrawn the U.S. from the World Health Organization and even begun renaming geographical features. It's just the tip of the sweeping changes Trump has vowed, from ending birthright citizenship to expanding U.S. territory. But if this early momentum keeps up, the pace of change could be very fast. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
With Trump now officially sworn in as U.S. president, governments will be closely watching for concrete details on sweeping pledges he made on the campaign trail. One of Trump's highest profile plans is to impose tariffs on U.S. adversaries and even some allies and partners, including Taiwan. Joyce Tseng has more.
Countries around the world have been bracing for a second Donald Trump presidency and his renewed promise to put America first. That includes a pledge to slap tariffs on all goods coming into the U.S. to address trade imbalances, particularly with China. It's a threat that's already caused shipping firms to front-load cargo bound for the world's largest economy. And his rhetoric has also raised fears in Taiwan, particularly in its valuable high-tech sector.
Taiwan, they stole our chip business.
Last year, Taiwan posted a record-high trade surplus with the U.S. With its unmatched dominance in advanced chips, the booming AI sector has helped drive up Taiwan's exports to the U.S. by over 80%, reaching almost $65 billion. And despite the anxiety within the sector and among lawmakers as Trump takes office, both Taiwan's economy minister and central bank head remain confident that the country won't be targeted by punitive tariffs. But according to Lian Xianming, the head of a leading Taipei-based economy think tank, this is no guarantee. Speaking to TaiwanPlus, Lian says Trump may use Taiwan's reliance on U.S.-supplied weapons to push U.S. interests.
It is true that on the tariff side, Taiwan probably not on the top list. But you also have to be a little bit cautious because there are a number of reasons why Taiwan actually fall into a disadvantaged position. Taiwan still needs the United States a lot of help. National defense and also about the international affairs. Trump is going to use that to have some favors.
Trump has made clear he wants to bring manufacturing and jobs back to American soil, a goal that Lian says won't necessarily be detrimental to Taiwan. As an island nation prone to earthquakes and facing a threat of invasion from Beijing, investing overseas can help Taiwan's economy become more resilient.
But would you also be worried about Taiwan being taken advantage of?
Of course, but we should use that as the opportunity to see whether it's possible after all this experience that we are able to build up a true international company.
Lian says the expansion into Arizona of Taiwanese chip giant TSMC has been a key first step and case study for other Taiwanese firms looking to do the same. The company's problems with local labor unions, an important lesson of the cultural challenges to overcome.
Economic leaders here say that investing overseas is not about giving up Taiwan's tech advantage, but rather expanding the country's global importance and even to explore sectors beyond chips. All to say that despite newly inaugurated President Donald Trump's agenda of America First, Taiwan can still work with the U.S. in a way that brings win-win results. Joseph Wu, Andy Xue, and Joyce Zhen in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Emergency response efforts are underway in southern Taiwan following a 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit at midnight on Tuesday. The tremor collapsed several homes in rural Tainan. Reese Ayers joins us live now from there. Reese, how bad is the damage where you are?
Well, some pretty serious damage to a few properties just a road away from here. That area now completely cordoned off over fears of further collapses. But very fortunately, no reports of any deaths or even of major injuries. Still, a relief tent has been set up here to provide locals with food and drink and a place just to rest and have some safety. Some of the worst damage from this earthquake has been reported centered here in Tainan's rural Nanxi district, with several residents reporting some minor injuries, after the homes around them collapsed. But luckily, emergency responders able to act quickly and pull them free. Fire officials saying here that around 10 or a dozen so homes have been seriously structurally damaged. Now, this quake struck a few minutes past midnight. Its epicenter on the border of Jiayi and Tainan in Taiwan's south. It was a 6.4 magnitude tremor, far from the biggest that we've experienced here in Taiwan, but still strong enough to be felt across the country and cause damage to structures closer to its center. Further afield, there are reports of damage in mountainside villages in Tainan and Jiayi, and some more minor injuries as well. And in science parks in Taiwan's center and south, chip maker TSMC saying that they had to evacuate their factories and stop production for a few hours while they assess damage, but they're now saying that staff are returning to work and that production has continued.
Well, it's a relief to hear no serious injuries are being reported. Is there any word yet on the risk of aftershocks?
Some aftershocks of magnitude 5 or higher happening after the main tremor, though the frequency of those has already slowed down. But Taiwan's Central Weather Administration is still warning that they could occur for 3 days or longer, and warning people to stay away from the mountainous regions and roads up in the hills in case of landslides. Taiwan sits on the so-called Pacific Rim of Fire, so it's no stranger to earthquakes. Just last year, that huge one on the east coast that killed over a dozen people, and the Dinghy earthquake in 1999 that killed over 2,000. Taiwan is used to earthquakes, but it's that proneness to them that makes Taiwan prepared every time that one strikes.
Thank you, Reese. That was Reese Ayers reporting from Tainan. The Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party have continued to make large cuts to Taiwan's 2025 budget, with a deadline of finishing deliberations by Tuesday. Among their cuts, the opposition parties slashed the foreign ministry's entire media and policy promotion budget and froze 50% of its operating budget. It also cut 30% of the Mainland Affairs Council's operating expenses and cut funding to Taiwan's public television service, which includes TaiwanPlus, by over $700,000. The parties also eliminated a proposed $3 billion subsidy for state-run electric utility Taipower, which will likely affect electricity prices. An Air Force officer has died following an accident on a base in central Taiwan. Taiwan's military says the officer, surnamed Hu, was sucked into an engine while performing a pre-shutdown inspection at a plane at Qingchuangang Air Base. The officer was pronounced dead after being transported to a nearby hospital. The military says it is investigating the cause of the accident. A Chinese national has been indicted for illegally entering Taiwan after crossing the Taiwan Strait in a rubber dinghy last year. He was rescued off the coast of New Taipei City in September 2024 after making a distress call. The 32-year-old told authorities he was seeking freedom and wanted to start a new life. He is currently being held incommunicado and could face a 5-year prison sentence. The man allegedly violated the Immigration Act and the act governing relations between Taiwan and China. Thanks for joining us here on What's Up Taiwan. You can check out our website or follow our social media for more of our stories. Finally, we leave you with images from National Tulip Day in Amsterdam, celebrating the tulip selling season with free flowers for visitors. I'm Philip Brossard. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
For more stories from here in Honolulu, Hawaii, and around the world, make sure to visit us on social media.